Hello. So for today we are going to learn how to construct special angles without using the compass, without using the protractor, only using the ruler and the compass. So these special angles are when you are told to construct angles like 90 degrees, 45 degrees, 22.5 degrees, 75 degrees, 135 degrees, 105 degrees, and so on and so forth. Now, one thing about these angles is that all of them originate from two primary angles, that is the 90 degrees, and then we also have the 60 degrees, from which other angles also come up, like 30 degrees, 15 degrees, 7.5 degrees, and so on and so forth. So first of all, when you want to construct an angle of 90 degrees, let's say we have a line here that way. If I want to construct 90 degrees from this point, let me call this point B, what I'm going to do is to stand at B with my compass and then make an arc on both sides of the line. So I'll have an arc there and another arc on this side, the same distance from B. Then standing at this particular point, I make an arc up here that way, and then standing at this other point, I make an arc this side, the same distance I used from point 1. So I'll have that one that way, and then I join that through that point like that. That way I'll be able to have my 90 degrees at this particular point. Then we have derivatives of the 90 degrees. These are angles that you get when you divide the 90 degrees. One of them is 45 degrees, and 45 degrees is gotten by bisecting this particular angle of 90. So I'll stand at B, then I make an arc on that line and on this other line. So I'll have that one and that. Then standing at point 2, I make an arc that way. Then standing at that point 3, I make another arc, the same distance as from point 2 that way, and then I draw a line passing through that particular point. That way I'll have this angle as 45 degrees. And if I want other angles like 22.5 degrees, 22.5 is gotten by bisecting 45. So when I stand at B, then I make an arc on that the two lines which are forming 45 there and there, and then standing at those two respective places with the same distance, I make two arcs there and also there, and then I draw. Those two angles are going to be 45 degrees. Now, these are derivatives of the 90 degrees, but we also have angles which are derived from 60. 90 and 60 are the two primary angles from which most of these angles come from. So let's say I have a similar line that way, and then I have a point B somewhere there, and then I want to construct 60 degrees. What I do, I will stand at point B, and then I will make an arc that way. Then standing at point 4, I make an arc with the same distance as the one I made for the first one. So I'll have that. I'll draw a line passing through B and that point, and the angle formed here is going to be 60 degrees. Now if I want angles like 30, 15 and 7.5, these three angles, they'll just be gotten by dividing that 60 degrees further and further. In that if I divide this 60 into two equal parts that way, I'm going to get 30 degrees up here and 30 degrees down here. If I bisect the 30 degrees on top by standing at B and making that arc, and then standing at point 5, making an arc, and standing at point 6, and making an arc, and then I draw that line is going to bisect that 30 into 15 degrees, and if you do the same for 15 degrees you'll get 7.5 degrees. So those angles of 45, 22.5, 30, 15 and so on, these are the derivatives of both 90 degrees and 60 degrees. But then we have other angles of which to get them we need to combine the derivatives of 90 and 60. For example, if I want to construct 75 degrees, I'll come and then I will bisect. I'll construct first of all the 90 standing at point B, that way and that way. Then standing at point 7, I'll make an arc on top. Then standing at the other point, the same distance, I also make an arc. Then this will be the 90. It's not that accurate because I'm approximating, but approximately that will be 90 degrees if you construct it to scale. Then if from the same point I construct 60, this point B, I make an arc, and then standing at this particular point, the same distance, I also make another arc. When I draw that line passing through B and that point, this angle is going to be 60, meaning what remains up here is 30. If I bisect that 30 degrees, what I'm going to get is 15 degrees. So in this particular case, if I stand at B and then I make an arc of that 30, then I bisect it that way, I'm going to have 15 degrees and 15 degrees. So that means that the angle here all the way from there up to there is going to be 60 plus 15, and that will give me 75 degrees. So what this means is that most of these angles, to get them, we are either using derivatives of 90 or 60 aside or in each question, or a combination of both. And when the numbers become bigger than 90 degrees, we always look for the acute angle. For example, when I tell you to construct 105 degrees, what you do, you take 180 minus 105 and you get 75 degrees. So what you do, you simply need to construct the negative angle. That is, if I have a line that way, when I'm able to construct on this side 75 degrees, whatever remains is going to be my answer, the 105 degrees. If I tell you to construct 135 degrees, what you will do, you are going to take 180 minus 135 and you're going to get 45 degrees. That means I just need to construct the negative angle of 45 degrees, and then whatever remains is going to be 135 degrees. So this is how you construct these special angles. They're all based on two angles of 90 and 60. I hope this has been understood. We'll stop there for today and then we continue tomorrow. Thank you.